Have you ever sat outside and heard a loud thumping in the distance and didn't know what it was, and finally over the horizon you see a helicopter? Next, while sitting there, you think to yourself, well, how actually does a helicopter fly? Well, what it takes to make the helicopter to fly is short of amazing. We can look at the Chinook helicopter, or commonly known as the CH-47 for those in the military, and see many different components that should work well, and work together. This helicopter is a modern marvel in that the helicopter was designed with two rotor discs, one at the front of the helicopter located just behind and above the cockpit, and one at the back over the back cargo entrance, and sits about 5 feet higher than the front. Now that the fact that the rotor discs are not stacked one on top of the other like the Russian Ka-50 helicopter means that the aircraft is supposed to literally tear itself apart due to opposing forces during flight operation. But this is not the case. The forces actually cancel each other out, and in fact the two discs make the aircraft more stable and able to carry more, a lot more than any other helicopter. The Chinook can carry up to 33 passengers or 28,000 pounds of cargo when in flight. When you look at the physics behind it, the next thing that you can find amazing is that unlike its cousin, the plane, that needs constant forward momentum to stay afloat, the helicopter literally beats the air into submission and creates pockets to stay afloat. This means that when it comes to losing all power, the helicopter can just float back to the ground in a maneuver called autorotation. Autorotation means that when all engine power or electrical power is lost and the aircraft is falling back to Earth, it will use the wind moving back through the disc to go from the normal 80% power usage to maxing it out to around 150% rotor RPM, which allows the pilot to pull pitch back in, keeping the aircraft afloat. Now, some people still argue that autorotation is designed to help in all crashes, but you still can't take the human error out of which takes most aircraft down. I talked briefly pitch a few seconds ago. Well, it just doesn't take pitch to make the helicopter fly. Actually, you have to be well coordinated when it comes to the helicopter. The helicopter has the normal throttle like airplanes, but instead of creating thrust, it creates torque, which is converted through the gearboxes to the rotor head to turn the disc. And instead of the airplane using just pedals and basically a steering wheel, you will have your pitch, which turns the blade slightly upward and creates the air pockets under each blade to create lift. Next, you have cyclic, which moves the whole disc in unison, front, back, left, and right, to give you direction. And finally, you have tail, which is what you have to put in to keep the aircraft straight, due to the aircraft wanting to spin clockwise and the frame spin counterclockwise. You might ask, how do you know that the aircraft always spins clockwise or counterclockwise? All aircraft are designed that when they start turning, everything spins counterclockwise, and just like the momentum, anything that winds up, it's the opposite. It wants to unwind. So if you take a rubber band plane and you spin it up and you let it go, the blades will spin one way and the little helicopter will spin the other way. And this action is taken out by the tail rotors. So, in theory, you really have to be good at what you do and coordinated in what you do, because not only are you just worrying about front, back, left, and right, you have a stick between your legs to move front, back, left, right. You have a stick to the right or to the left of you to move you up and down. And then you also have to make sure that you're moving your pedals left and right to keep your nose straight. Well, I think that sums about the basic lesson of flight. But if you have more interest, please look into it more. Helicopters are an amazing thing, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.